maximizers, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Crystal and I'm a strategic money coach, and I help women be super intentional with their money so that they can do more of what they want. And in today's video, we're going to talk about how you can create an emergency fund. So many of us want to save money, which is a good thing to want to do. But one thing that most of us do that we shouldn't do that stops us from saving money is we do not get clear and specific on what we are saving for. And when it comes to our savings, we should have multiple savings funds. So in today's video, I want to break down how you can create an emergency saving fund. All right, so let's dig right on in. As a money coach, I believe that everyone should have an emergency fund. Emergencies are going to happen to all of us. It's something that we cannot prevent, but we can prepare for it. So my first tip is for you to define what your emergency fund can be used for. So for me and with my clients, I like to define emergencies as a life or death or fire or an extreme accident, right? So someone died and I need to go and travel somewhere to see them, right? Someone close to me gets really sick and I need to go to the hospital. I get really sick and lose a huge portion of my income, right? Something important catches on fire, or maybe there's a car accident and we got to pay a deductible. That is what the emergency fund is for. The emergency fund is not for my sister called me up and she wants us to take a trip to Puerto Rico in 2 months and my vacation fund only has $400, so I'm just going to pull from my emergency savings. Nope, that is not an emergency. So money flows where there is purpose. There's going to be emergencies that come up. So I encourage you to define what your emergency fund can be used for, so that way you don't find yourself pulling from it just because you didn't plan well with the rest of your money. Tip number 2 is decide how much you want to put into your emergency fund for the next 12 months. So decide, what are you building up to? Me personally, I want to have at least 3 months of living expenses for my life and my business in my emergency fund. So what that means is it's a big number that I want to get to. So let's just use a nice round number of $15,000. My ultimate goal is $15,000 in my emergency fund, right? But maybe this year I can only commit to putting $4,000 into my emergency fund. So for the next 12 months, we'll use 2023 as an example. My goal is to put $4,000 into my emergency fund. The other way you can do it is you can say, you know what, no matter what, every paycheck, $25 goes in my emergency fund, and my goal is to get to that $15,000. So if I decide to take a portion of my tax refund, or if I get a settlement of some sort, or if I get a bonus from work, I am going to build up until I get to that $15,000. And once I get to $15,000, I can reassess our needs moving forward. Because 3 months is great, but we should get to 6 months or maybe 12 months, right? But you want to have some sort of starting point. Maybe your goal is to just get your first 1,000 in your emergency fund. It doesn't matter the amount. It just matters that you decide on that amount so you know what you are working towards. Tip number 3. I feel like a lot of us fall short with this tip. Are you ready? Decide where you are putting the money. Where is your emergency fund going to be housed? I suggest you get a separate savings account at another bank. So if your main bank is Bank of America, open a savings account with Chase Bank or with Truist or with your local credit union. So that way when you make your emergency savings transfers, it's not being seen with the money that you're working with on an everyday basis. Because if we see money, we might spend money. So we need to do a good job of separating our emergency fund away from our regular everyday money so we don't get tempted to do a real quick transfer. Now, if you don't want to save your money in a bank, that's okay too. Do you want to save it in a mattress like grandma? Do you want to do a cash envelope and have that stashed somewhere in your house? One thing that I've suggested to some of my clients in the past is pull it out in coins. Now, I can admit $4,000 in quarters is going to be a lot of money. It's going to take up a lot of space, and it's going to be heavy when it's time to cash out. But if you are someone that knows that you're not going to deal with the coins, then go ahead, take out your $25 a paycheck in quarters, put it into a jar that you're going to literally have to break to get into, and then take that change back to the bank. So you can choose where you put the money. I, again, do not care as the money coach. I just care that you have a defined place for the money to go. Preferably a secure bank account, but whatever makes you feel comfortable works for me. And number 4, I feel like this is also something that we miss the mark on. You need to save like it's a bill. You do not save after you spend. What I teach my clients inside the Money Saving Academy is that your savings is one of your main categories. We're going to pay our bills, we're going to put money towards our expenses, we're going to save for our sinking funds, and we're going to put our savings down like a bill. So just like you pay your rent, your mortgage, your car payment, your car insurance, you need to pay yourself savings. So I do a bare minimum threshold. My bare minimum is $100 a month to my emergency savings. Now I prefer to do $400 a month, but I know that bare minimum $25 a week needs to go to my emergency fund. Now, if I make more money that week and I have more of a percentage to put in, I do. But I have a bare minimum and we save like it's a bill. So not only am I saving for emergencies, right? Saving for a new car, saving for a new house, saving for a vacation. You should save like it's a bill, not an afterthought. That's why having a budget is so important. If you haven't checked out my how to budget video, I'll link it right here. Please go check that out so you can figure out how to manage your money. But once you have a clear money plan, then you can see, all right, this is how much money I have to put in my savings, or I'm going to cut back on eating out so that I can put $75 a month into my emergency savings, because that's more important than me pigging out, 3 times a week on takeout. Does that make sense? You want to get very clear on how much you're putting to your savings every week, every paycheck, every month, and save like it's a bill. It's non-negotiable. It's not an option to not save. So if that means you can only put $10 a paycheck in, that's fine. I promise you, if you can live on $1,000 for 2 weeks, you can live on $990 for 2 weeks. Put that money into your savings. I believe that everyone should have an emergency fund. Everyone should be saving for emergencies. Bare minimum per paycheck, $10. If you're paycheck to paycheck right now, $10 per paycheck to your emergency savings. Have a clear definition of what your emergency savings for and build up to that goal. The more you make, the more you save. If you start a side hustle, decide X amount of money that I make from my side hustle is going into my emergency savings, and save like a bill. I hope these tips were helpful in you creating your emergency fund. If you have any questions, let me know down in the comments. If you want to work with me to help better manage your money and build up your emergency savings, I would love to help you inside the Money Saving Academy. You can click that link down in the description box, and there's a little discount code to save some coins off your first month. So I want to thank you all so much for your love and support. I appreciate each and every one of you. Stay safe out there as you are shopping, and as always, please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.